I've always followed like some extreme sports and never thought I'd be able to do it. More people have been in space than I've ever rowed across the Atlantic. More people climb Everest every year than I've ever rowed across the Atlantic. So it is a special wee club to be part of. It's for three fantastic charities we're doing it for. And the three fantastic charities are the Royal Navy and Royal Marines charity, MND Scotland, so and finally another one that's close to all our hearts is Mind Body Soul, which is a mental health charity.
Looking at the cabins, I'm hoping that me, Will and Brian don't end up having to go in at the same time if there's really bad weather, otherwise we're going to be struggling a wee bit. We're going to be extremely cosy.
Welcome back to another episode of Seasonal Discussions. If you're new to the content, click like, click follow, click subscribe. More importantly for this one, I don't care about you following us. I want you to follow these guys, because what you guys are doing going forward is insane, which we'll get into just shortly. If you want to follow along with their journey, links to everything that they're doing, fundraising, websites, LinkedIn, the whole lot is down in the description below this. Or if you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and you can't see the fact that I'm pointing downwards, scroll down the page and you'll find it there. Stu, well, you have travelled a fair distance to come in already this morning, but I think travelling a fair distance just to get here for this is really the big issue, because you're taking part in the world's toughest row. How did this start? Well, I believe this is your baby. This is your project. This is your punishment for doing something bad in a previous life. Or maybe you just don't like these guys very much. But how did getting started with something like the world's toughest row come about?
So it was a change in my personal circumstances a few years ago.
Yep.
And I just wanted something to focus on.
Yeah.
I've always followed like some extreme sports and never thought I'd be able to do it. Let's be honest, because the people who do these sort of things are quite fit and all the rest of it. And my fitness days left me a long time ago when I left.
Wouldn't say that with this thing that you're doing.
Aye, I can. So, looked in the world's toughest row, was really interested in it. And it was just an idea to start with. And then the more I thought about it, I thought, do you know what? This is a time to try and see if we can go about it, see if I can do it while I'm at an age where I think I can do well in it before I get too old. So I decided to get more information about it. There's two races you can do. There's the Atlantic one and there's the Pacific one. The Atlantic one just seemed to take my fancy more than the Pacific one. Need to say that we won't do the Pacific one as well sometime.
I'm just still sort of how you can look at anything like that and go, it takes my fancy. I'm looking at it going,
just give you something different. I mean, don't get me wrong, people run marathons and swim at channels and all fantastic things. But if I want to do something, my family will always tell me, if you do something, you always going and do it. So I just wanted to go and do this. And there was a lot of research. And then I approached a couple of guys because the team originally was myself and 4 other people who are not part of the team anymore. So just got various reasons, but when I eventually got speaking to Stuart, because when I spoke to him about it, Stuart will tell you himself, he's a very fit guy, loves his fitness and all the rest of it. There wasn't actually a space for Stuart in the team, and he was thinking, oh, how's this going to come around? And then we got a team together. Some guys dropped out for various reasons. But I approached Stuart, he jumped at the opportunity.
As long as you don't jump off the boat, you'll be all right. No. How did you become aware of it then, Stuart? Like, obviously, saying it was something that's kind of localised up here in Aberdeen, out in the Shire. How did you become aware that this was a thing?
Obviously, well, so like you kind of said there, I was basically tricked, effectively. So I was told all about it.
Coerced.
Yeah, I was told all about it when there was nothing at stake for me, really, effectively. So he came to me, he was telling me about what was going on. I knew a couple of the other guys he was potentially originally doing it with from some other events that we've done. And it was a weird one. Everyone else was sort of like, why would you do that? Are you mental? But then when he said it to me, I was just like, I just got it straight away. As soon as he told me about it, I was like, that sounds amazing. I can't believe you can actually do that. I didn't know that was a thing. So I was already like, how can I help you, support you just from the outside? Like, I think this is incredible. Like, I can't believe you're doing it. So then when he came to me and said, oh, actually, by the way, someone's dropped out. It was like, you've been talking about how much it's amazing for the last month, so you're ready to just come straight in, and that's kind of what happened, really.
And are you regretting saying yes to that at any point, or is it?
No, the regrets haven't come yet. I mean, there's been some tough days. It's not all the easy bits and the sort of fun bits, but As of yet, there's been no regret.
Nothing as yet. Well, we'll get into the actual sort of the training regime and everything you sort of get into. But for anyone who maybe doesn't know, Google World's Toughest Row. You'll find out a bit more. But, well, tell us a bit more about what's actually involved in the World's Toughest Row.
So the World's Toughest Row, it's been a race that's been going on for 10 years plus anyway. And it's getting bigger and bigger and more well known with social media and what have you. And the majority of people who do it for charities and things like that. But essentially, there's two races. There's one in the summer from California to Hawaii. That's 2,800 miles across the Pacific.
I can't lie, those destinations at the very least sound a little bit more appealing.
Yes, I know. But we'll get to that anyway. And then obviously there's the one in the winter, the one that we're doing in December, and that's from La Gomera in the Canaries, to Antigua in the Caribbean. So yeah, still two very good destinations. And yeah, it's essentially, you know, we'll leave La Gomera and we're very much unsupported on a row across the Atlantic. 3,000 miles. Now a wee bit for yourself is more people have been in space than I've ever rode across the Atlantic. More people climb Everest every year than I've ever rode across the Atlantic. So it is a special wee club to be part of.
That's a unique group.
It is a unique group. So, and especially, I'll tell you something else which is even more fantastic. There'll already be one boy for Peterhead that's done it.
All right.
So that's an old school friend of mine, Lewis Locke. So if he's watching, well done, Lewis. He's ex-Army, I'm ex-Navy, so...
He's sitting there shaking his head at you going, did you not learn?
Okay, and aye. So he's ex-Army, obviously I'm ex-Navy, so I've got to try and beat him, and so he'll never live that down, and sailors beat a squaddy, but we'll try our best.
Navy over the Army, that's a totally different debate going on there.
So, but no, all joking aside, that's what we plan to do. We want to do it in a good time. Stuart's our man for the sort of times that we're going to be on the oars and residence. Stu's very good at stuff like that. I'll let him go into further details, but we're going to try and do it on a 2.5 hours on, hour and a half off sort of regime, continuously day and night for around 30 to 40 days.
It's a long time to be doing it. Yeah. How much planning are you having to put in yourself? How much rearranging are you constantly having to think of with this, putting the plans in place and working out the timings for it?
Yeah, I mean, the issue is that a lot of the planning, we were sort of putting it across at first as we'll be doing 2 hours on and 2 hours off. Now that fits perfectly if you're a team of 4. You've got 2 guys coming off, 2 guys coming on. Us having a team of 5 and kind of needing that third person up at all times, and it doesn't divide properly basically. So effectively, it will be a constantly changing the schedule when we're live and when we're actually rowing. The plan will be that we'll start off with our 2 and our 2, but obviously if 2 guys come off and 2 guys go on, there's a spare seat there, so that'll mean that someone needs to stay on. So someone will stay on, but next time someone will go on early, and that's when we're going to sort of start averaging up to the sort of 2.5, maybe even 3 hours. We have been speaking to our coach, who again I'm sure we'll speak about a little bit more later on. I think the plan will be to try and maximise the time that we've got on the oars during the day, and then at night there'll be a little bit more scope to go with maybe 2 guys. You're maybe not getting that much out of having the third person there. It's dark. You're naturally going a little bit slow when you're tired anyway. So the daytime's the big one where you need to get the push in.
That's the big push in.
Yeah.
It's like, it's that constantly needing someone on. Obviously, a lot of people have done these, big sailboats by themselves or done whatever, but this is a whole different ballgame. This is something that you deserve so much commendation for putting yourselves into something like this. It's been going, so you've had the idea and it's been in place for quite a while now, Will, is that right?
Yeah,
You were mentioning earlier, was it like 2 years or something this has been in the...
Yeah, so this has been in the plan. I've been obviously, I was thinking about it for about a year before I signed up, but we actually signed up around, I think it was April 2024, we signed up to go and do it. So it's been 2 years in the making of obviously fundraising and things like that, and ultimately, it's for 3 fantastic charities we're doing it for, and the 3 fantastic charities are the Royal Navy and Royal Marines charity. So that's one that's close to my heart. MND Scotland, one of our teammates, Brian, he's got a very close friend who's been diagnosed with MND quite young. All know the effects of MND with likes of Doddy Weir and Rob Burrow, and that's the people who are in the spotlight. Not your average people like ourselves. So, and finally, another one that's close to all our hearts is Mind, Body, Soul, which is a mental health charity.
Mental health charities are something that are starting to get a lot more recognition, I think, up here. And it's not just the physical side of things that's going to be quite taxing for you. It's obviously the mental health side of things is going to be, or the mental acuity is going to be quite a difficult thing. We'll get into the physical side of things, but have you found any techniques or anything that you're having to come across and work on to try and train yourself mentally for taking on a challenge like this?
The main thing that I'm coming across at the moment is really just trying to learn to say yes when you want to say no. So you get up, you look at the training plan, it says you've got to go and row for an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
You can't be arsed. You've got something going on. Bairn's sick and he's off school.
Yeah.
You've got to try and figure things out. It would be easy to say, I'm not going to do it, or I'll do it later, or I'll make it up. Sometimes that might be necessary, but it's knowing that when you're out there, I'm not going to have, if I say, no, I'm not doing my row, it well might need to stay on for another couple of hours. So I won't have that option. So it's just...
the instant shock, basically, you say that to me, I'm throwing you off.
Yeah. So it's that, it's just getting yourself prepared for that and saying, I'm going to have to do it, whether it's cold, whether it's raining, whether I'm tired, whether I'm hungry, you're going to have to do it. So now trying to bring that into the training. And again, just kind of trying to mentally put myself in that situation. So me and Will have been training very similarly, doing a lot of our rowing, no music, no TV, just there, us in the machine, on the ERG, just working away. Trying to put myself in those situations, imagine myself at sea when I'm tired, when I'm hungry, and just really trying to bring that into my day-to-day training, really.
Keep it going as it is. Are you finding that the physical training side of things is obviously difficult on a personal level anyway, because you've got to put yourself through a lot to do it? How easy is it for you to coordinate that level of training? You've spoke about having someone on board who is putting some coaching stuff in place for you, but how easy is it to coordinate a team of 5? Because you're not all based in the same location. It's not like you're all in the same city and you can all meet up on a daily basis to do these things. How difficult has that been for you to get to try and work through?
So we've taken on a proper ocean rowing coach, Gus Barton, who's he's done the race himself. He's rowed across Atlantic himself. So, and Stuart was in La Gomera, the tail end of last year for the race that was happening. So it's good for previous teams go to see it, and teams in the future go to see that current race. So it's a good idea to go and do that. And Stuart managed to go, and he met up with Gus as well. And Gus is quite well renowned and probably does maybe a quarter to maybe half of the teams that do the race. He takes them on and gets them fit. So it's obviously you've got this ocean rower guy training you, and it makes you have your own sense of accountability, because he's giving you these sort of exercises, and he won't take teams on because obviously he's got his own reputation to keep up. But he's very to the point, is he, Stuart? Because at the first time I ever meet him with him, he's like, right, so what do you want to do? Do you want to go across, stop, take pictures, and do you want to do all right, or do you want to try and smash it and see how you can get on? And we've said our goals, and he's fairly ramping the training up now as he's through. I think he gives you a sense of accountability to do things.
But I was going to say, you finding that quite easy to manage between you as well?
Yeah, I was going to say, back to what your original point was there about the sort of management between the 5 of us. I think realistically, we just kind of need to trust each other.
Yeah.
He's sitting the workouts, we have check-ins, we have calls, we've got the group chat. Is anyone struggling? How he's getting on with training? Just the sort of regular check-ins. Oh, I just done my hour and a half row. If people reply going, oh, me too, it was shite, they're like, right, okay, at least I know I've done it. If you never get a comment saying that they struggled, you're like, oh, have they done it or not? So
someone messaging back going, oh, I found that one quite easy to do. You're like, right.
Yeah, so that's it. It's just trusting each other. And like I said, now we've got the coach on board and stuff. It's just staying accountable to the program. If there's any problems, we know we can speak up and see.
So where is everyone actually based then? Obviously, you guys are both through here for this, but you've both travelled from different areas as well. Where is everyone actually from?
So I'm down in Fife. I'm in Dunfermline. So not far from Edinburgh for myself. Will is obviously Peterhead, which is where a lot of our sponsors and supporters have come from, and ultimately, which I'm sure we'll get onto, the boat's going to be based. We've got the other Stuart is based in Falkirk. Brian is based in Glasgow, and Carl is based in South Shields in Newcastle. So we are pretty dispersed.
Literally everyone all over the place. So how did the group of 5 come together then? You mentioned, Will, that there was a different group to start with.
Yes.
Now everyone's obviously spread throughout the whole thing. How did you find this group of 4, I suppose, including yourself?
So even the original team members were all dispersed. So it was just guys I worked with, essentially. I worked with Stu. Me and Stu are on the same rotation. We're based on Shearwater. And the other Stu he's Shearwater as well.
Yeah.
And Brian was Shearwater, but he's moved to the Penguins. So it's all guys that I worked with. And one of the other guys who dropped out, his friend, who was also in Shearwater, knows someone who's into his ultramarathon, so that's Carl.
Aye.
So myself, Stuart, the other Stuart and Brian we've all worked together.
Okay.
Carl is a friend of someone we know offshore, and he is into his ultramarathons and things like that. So when we were looking for another person, we spoke to someone we know offshore, and he says, "I know the right person for you."
Oh, yes, so one of those this symbol.
So me and Stu had a call with him, did we? We had a sort of conference. We were offshore, I think we were. We were offshore, so we had like a WhatsApp group call with him, and he was absolutely blown away by it. But I think he had to work on his folks, did he, to get the approval?
Is he allowed to go out?
Aye, before he's allowed to go. Aye, so but no, we're absolutely delighted. I'm delighted with the team I've assembled. I couldn't have handpicked a better bunch of boys, so I'm delighted.
Well, there's been, obviously, you've mentioned about sponsorship and stuff. We've covered the training side. We'll get to the sponsors bit in the middle, but with you mentioning there about him having to talk to family and stuff and kind of, jokingly get the okay from the parents, what kind of reaction have you had from family members and friends when they hear about you taking on a project like this?
Mostly negative. No, it's not negative. It's actually very positive. Everyone, like you say, is kind of blown away when you start talking through what it entails and what's actually coming and what we need to go through. There is trepidation, I would say. There's sort of very much a back step. You're going to do what? Wow, is that not dangerous? Like, could you die? What's in the water? Etc. etc. So it comes with many, many questions. And then most people, I say overwhelming positivity. They just turn around and say, "That's amazing."
Yeah.
Parents were a couple of steps behind that. I think my dad still threatened to break my legs so I can't go just by accident. But
I'd be like, "Mate, I use my arms to row, break my legs all you want."
Again, I think, and then with part of that though, it's like most things, isn't it? It's like the more things that we do to prepare, or the more we're doing stuff like this, and then we've got training courses coming up. They see us working out, they see us having calls, we're going to see sponsors. They can see the preparations there. I think that brings around the level of like assuredness that they know or they hope things are going to be okay. Yeah. And then that sort of brings a little bit of the anxiety down.
Calms them down slightly. What about from your side, Will?
Mine's what I think it was. If we speak to all the guys, I think there was an original deep breath in. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's
the fear.
Aye, like, again, it's near like a marathon or something like that, or a long cycle ride or whatever. It's rowing across Atlantic Ocean.
Aye.
Again, I mean, it's near your average. Again, it's like gunning a dinghy across Duthie Park. Aye.
They're swinging across the Duthie Park on somewhere.
Again, or even a swim in the Lido in Peterhead. Again. But
again, Peterhead swimming in a Lido is definitely a challenge.
Again, but no, I think like my parents were like, wow. My mum was like, "You're off your head." No. My brother was actually, I was speaking to my brother yesterday. He's like, "Fun, am I getting some more supplies?" I was like, "Oh, hey," I said, "I think they mark them your size, pal." Yeah, but no.
You can hear mine when I come back. It's all in sweat and tears out of it.
So, but no, all joking aside, I think they think we're a bit unhinged doing something like this. But when they listen to the charities we're doing it for and why we're doing it, and because ultimately, yes, we want to do it for ourselves. We want to achieve something. And I think, like, I've got two boys. I want them to think, "Oh, me, look what my dad's done."
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? Although I'm sure they get a wee bit of, "Oh, look at your dad on TikTok and all the rest of it." I'm sure they get wound up a wee bit from their mate.
Aye.
I think that's just the part and parcel. But I want them to think, my dad's went and done this. And it's actually near about, the message isn't near about rowing across Atlantic.
Aye.
The message is, see, if you want to do something and you really want to do it, you can do it.
Yep.
You might have to work hard. You might get a couple of knocks and take a couple of steps back. But if 5 guys, normal guys, can do it, then anybody can achieve anything they want to do. That's my message.
I think that's a big thing, and that sense that, like, we've already spoke about it on here with other folk when it comes to businesses and stuff. It's like, if you want to do something, do it.
Yeah.
If you stop at some point, it's because you don't want to do it anymore. And I think that must play into the mental aspect side of things that you try and take into your everyday life as well, like you were mentioning before about that. No, if I want to do something, I can go out, I can do it, I can achieve it. Is that helping kind of motivate you personally as well as doing the project? Or?
Yeah, definitely. Going back to what you said there about other people's reactions, it's interesting because one of the big things for me is if there's ever any doubt about creeping in about can we do it, and I believe we will do it, so I'm absolutely certain.
Oh yeah.
I take confidence in the fact that there's other teams that do it. It's not like it's like Will said, it gets more and more popular every year. There's lots of teams that do it, and I'm like, okay, well, if they can do it, we can do it. That's not the reaction you get from well, a lot of people. Obviously, we work offshore, some quite outspoken people.
Yes.
They're like, yeah, they can do it, but we're talking specifically about you. So then when you get that kind of reaction, it's like a little bit of like banter about it, but it does up a little bit. It goes, well, that's kind of the point. We're not like super athletes, we're not professional rowers, we've not rowed before this. Let's say, I think, other than 20 minutes in high school, I don't think I'd sat in a rowing machine before, let alone in a boat. So that meeting that head on and kind of saying, well, yeah, but it's not something that you would think we could do, but then we're going to go and do it. Even though it's completely out of comfort zone. That's really like a big driving factor behind it.
It's pushing yourselves as well. You mentioned yourself, Stuart, about the fact that you've got some training courses and stuff coming up shortly as well. And well, you were saying to me before we came in that you're going to be having to travel down, collect the boat and stuff, and go and do what training courses is it that you've got coming up? Is it personal ones, or are you just doing individual stuff, or how does it work?
So the courses that we've got booked is a mandatory course. So because we're doing it through the World Surface Row, they've got quite a in-depth appendix of race rules. One of them is regarding the minimum amount of time that you spent on the boat and stuff like that. But you also have to do certain courses before you go out at sea. So we'll go down and we do a little bit of sea survival, a little bit of first aid. There's a radio course, so we can contact other vessels if we come across them when we're out at sea. And then the main part of the course is the learning to navigate. So when we're actually on the boat, we do use an auto teller. It's a bit like a sat nav. It kind of keeps us on course, but they do break and they're not necessarily always going to be reliable. So we have to be able to learn how to plot our route using the charts. And that makes up a big part of the course. So if you've not done that, you can't enter the race, basically.
So have you had to allocate sort of certain individuals to certain roles? Obviously, we spoke before about the radio side of things. The communication will obviously fit you quite well based on what your job is. But how easy has it been to kind of delegate those little tasks?
So we haven't really got to that stage yet. I think when we get down there, it'll be like everything else. We'll go and do the course, and naturally there'll be one person who's the navigation side will just come to them. And things like that. So once we do these courses and we get the time away on the boat, I'll come back and I'll because I'll decide who's doing what, essentially.
Who's doing what and where they go.
And it gives that person the onus. That's their responsibility. Do you know what I mean? Because each person needs that. Every person thrives, I think, when they've got a task. It's their job, their focus. If they don't do their job, then we as a team won't be competitive, and we won't go anywhere. So that's the whole thing of teamwork. Everybody will get their own job, and we do it right, we do it well, then the team will be fine.
Listen, it's something for people to take ownership of while they're out there. Because obviously everyone's got their ownership of the time while they're rowing or the time to rest when they're not. But it's having that one thing that they can focus on as well. I think that would help. Again, on the mental side of things, all of a sudden having something that you can focus on and go, this is what I'm dealing with, this is what's next, this is what's coming up for me.
Yeah, definitely. I was thinking about that just as you were talking about it there. I'd say, like, when you get up and you think, oh, it's a bad day or I'm struggling or whatever, it's like you might be struggling, but you've still got to go and make the water. You've still got to go and chart the route, or you've got to adjust the setting of the boat so you're going the right way. You've got to clean the boat. Whatever it is, it's your job. We just, okay, well, it doesn't matter anything else that's going on. I need to focus on that and get that done. And doing that, it's like, it's just part of your routine then, isn't it? And it just keeps you focused on the goal at hand. So yeah, I think, like Will says, we'll just, we'll split them up according to who's good at what, and if we're all rubbish at everything, it'll be luck.
Then at least you can row.
It'll be by hook and
We'll just be going round like a mirror.
We're just doing a tour around in a circle. It's fine. What do you mean we've only got the left side working? We'll be fine. That just the general approach that you've both got to this. A lot of people can look at it as it's a challenge and it's going to beat you down, it's going to break you down. I'm sure you're going to experience days where you are getting that, am I doing the right thing by taking this on? But the positive side of things must make such a difference to you personally. Not just on, again, the sense of achievement with going out and doing something like this, but are you noticing a difference in yourself, confidence-wise? Just in everyday life, going out and taking on tasks now?
Yeah, because I would have never been comfortable to sit and go and speak to people about the race and ask for sponsorships and things now. And you get confidence. Like, I would have never thought about doing something like this and being comfortable speaking to someone I don't know, essentially. But the more you get speaking to people, the easier it becomes. So I would say that, you know, doing this challenge has brought maybe a bit more confident in various different aspects in life.
How about yourself, Stuart?
Yeah, I think it's just nice to have a long-term goal that has lots of little steps. Again, with the nature of our work, you know, we're away for a couple of weeks and then we're home for a few weeks, and it can be very monotonous. You kind of live your life in a couple of week chunks at a time. I'm at work and then I'm home, and I'm back at work and I'm back home. So having something that's far off and you come home and it's like, well, I need to do this, I need to do that. It just gives you a lot more structure, and then all of a sudden you're just becoming more efficient, and you're starting to tick things off your to-do list, and then you need to do this before you can do that. And yeah, it's just nice to have that at the back end, working towards something that's like we said earlier. It's been 2 years off, so it wasn't quite as smooth at the start. It was like we were almost too far away, but certainly now as we're coming into this last year and it's our race year, there's stuff to do all the time. So it constantly gives you something that you need to be working on.
It's going to be a big change for you over those few weeks, days that you're out there, because like you say, from working offshore, it's the 2 weeks offshore, a couple of weeks back onshore. You've got that downtime in between. This is going to be a solid month and a bit of downtime. What is downtime? You're going to have none of that in between. I'd imagine that's going to be quite a difficult thing to overcome with anything else going, hang on a minute, I haven't got these weeks of not sitting doing anything. This is going to be a hard slog for over a month.
Yeah. I mean, we'll probably need to build us some treats, will we, after a couple of weeks? When our 2 week shift's normally over, you'll see guys on day 15 being a bit like, whoa. Normally going home at this point. But
how much planning is being done in regards to the nutrition side of things as well, and for while you're actually away? Obviously, it's quite easy for you to manage your nutrition, make sure you're getting the right things in while you're here on land. How difficult has been planning that side of things while you're away?
So we're still planning that at the moment. We've been speaking to a few companies who specialise in sort of dry packed. It's essentially ration style packs we'll be in, high protein ration style packs at astronauts.
Delightful.
Astronauts or the military use. Essentially, for where we will boil water and add the water in and mix it up together. And that is essentially what it is, because we're going to be burning around 10,000 calories a day, roughly. So obviously we need that high protein food. One of the issues we've found is that one of our teammates, the other Stuart, has got an allergy, a nut allergy. So we're going to have to try and find a food that hasn't got any nuts in it. We're all going to have to be able to eat, because we don't want to take a chances. You can't take a chance of something happening to him when we're 2,000 miles across the
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Well, there's nowhere, you know what I mean? An EpiPen won't just cut it.
I was going to say there's going to be a lot of EpiPens having to get worked out. That's the case. Jesus.
So yeah, and that's what we're saying, you know, when we were going on about delegating and giving people jobs. I've said to Stuart, you're the one it's got the allergy, which is fine, because loads of people has it. But I just give him the responsibility. You go and look at the food that we can all eat. It's not going to affect you, because at the end of the day, you're an important part of the team. We'll be a man down if you become ill. So let's make sure that we get food that all of us can eat, because, you know what I mean, we don't want anything happening to him, especially from we're middle across the Atlantic. So yeah.
With that in mind, what elements of safety are there still applied to you while your time is out there? Because obviously that is a big thing. One person goes down, you know, you might think one person, it's a team of 5. It's 20% of your load straight away, which is a big percentage to take out. And if it is something like an allergy takes over for him, or someone else gets an injury of some sort, what elements of safety are there still applied to you while you're out there?
So, like for example, this year, there's a certain point where the Coast Guard can help. So at the start of this year's race, there was a few people who just could not shake seasickness, and they could not keep anything down. So there's a point where the Coast Guard will be able to come and get you. So you've got that either side. You've got that obviously as you're leaving La Gomera, and you've got that as you're coming into Antigua. So you've got the Coast Guard that could help that way. In between, it's a bit more different, and I'm sure Stuart will inform me about that.
yeah, well, I mean, if it gets that bad, we effectively just put a mayday and ask for help. But we do a big part of obviously being under the World Surface rule and them organising it. They're very good as organisers, very responsible. Every day we've got to keep a specific phone that we contact them on. So every day we check in with them. They ask us how everyone on the boat's doing. There's a doctor present, so they're checking things like conditions. So if someone is seasick, are they just seasick, or have they not managed to go to the toilet for 2 days? And then the doctor has actually rowed the ocean before as well, so it's very specific advice. It's not the same advice you would get from your regular GP. He knows what's going on, how to deal with it, and you get that kind of specific advice. So the feedback from them is obviously really important. We've got cameras on board, so we can show them issues with the boat, and we can show them injuries and things like that. I believe this year, someone on a team that we were who could do quite a lot before they went. They actually got a bad burn when they were going in the water and it fell in their leg. So again, I was able on the camera, showing the doctor, he's explained to them how to treat it, things like that. And then the other thing is really, a lot of it is about prevention. It's about just trying to stay true to what you know you need to do all the time. So things like you always have to make sure you're clipped on the boat. You have to make sure that you have got the doors shut and locked so you're not going to get any water in if you capsize or a big wave comes.
Yeah.
Things like that, and making sure hopefully that we don't get into any of these situations to begin with are really kind of more important than how we react to it if we do. And then at that point, we've got a full kit list, so everyone's got a life jacket on. They've got an escape vessel if we need to. We've got ways of sounding the alarm. We've got flares. So if it comes to it, there's enough kit on board to hopefully get the help that we need. Like I say, it's really just about trying to stop us getting to that point to begin with.
Preventative more than reactionary dealing with
I've
it.
actually got a message from Aldo Kane. He's the guy who was on that Channel 4 documentary with Jason Fox. So Aldo Kane and Jason Fox, they did Atlantic in 2016, the same race that we are doing. So I'd managed to get in touch with Aldo, and his words were, do the basics right. That's it. Admin and get your basics right. If you do your basics right, that's it. And I thought that was his advice. And this is a guy who's ex-Royal Marines Commando and has done loads of like adventure training. And like I said, they've just done an ultra marathon across the Arctic. And that was his words. Do the basics right.
That's an important part I think everyone needs to take in whenever they're doing anything, is if you can nail the basics, everything else is addition and above on top of that. So getting the basics right, please pay attention whenever you're doing any form of exercise and get the basics right first. Dear Lord. We spoke there obviously about the health and safety side of things for yourselves, but obviously one of the big things is the boat itself and being able to manage and maintain that. How much are you familiar with the boat that you're going to be using? I know you're saying you're going to be going down to pick it up later on this year. How familiar are you with the type of vessel that you're going to be on?
Not very. Is the honest
As yet. Yet. So, just in case anyone wonders, yet. They will be.
Again, until I spoke to Will and came on board, I didn't even know an ocean rowing boat existed. And as Will said, I had to go over to La Gomera before the start of this year's race and met some of the teams and got a close hand look. That was the first time I'd actually seen a boat in the flesh. It was smaller than I was expecting it to be.
It's still our boat.
I seen our particular boat that we got in the race this year. Looking at the cabins, I'm hoping that me, Will and Brian don't end up having to go in at the same time if there's really bad weather, otherwise we're going to be struggling a wee bit. We're going to be extremely cosy.
The biggest spoon ever.
That'll be warm.
Yeah, very.
Itch.
So yeah, we'll be picking the boat up.
Yeah.
Got a couple of days training with the boat provider, and then after that again, that's a big part of the training. It's not necessarily going out and just rowing and getting used to rowing the boat. It's what do we do if this breaks? How do we fix that? How do we maintain this? How does that operate? So we've already started talking about the kind of routines that we can do, what we can build into the training. So when we are going out on rows and we're going to be out for several hours, we'll stop at this point and we'll simulate this. What would happen if this happened? Who would get what? What would we do to respond to it? And then, I think we've got enough basic skills between us that once we spend that time in the boat, we'll get to know the boat inside out. And then there's always access to teams. I was speaking to teams that are doing it this year. So we'll be able to speak to them now they've finished. When I was over there, we were speaking to teams that done it last year. There's little hints and tips.
Little bits you can pick up from others.
Yeah, but the main thing is the boat's they're really reliable. The actual, in terms of the boat that we've got a boat from Rannoch who specialise in ocean rowing boats. They nearly always make it. There's not, they don't sink, they don't develop loads of problems. Like as long as you learn the things you need to learn and are prepared, the boat will get you there. And
what sort of specs is the boat itself then, Rob? What's the layout kind of like within the boat itself? Because I see the ocean rowing boats is not something that people are familiar with.
It's essentially a long boat. It's about 8 meters, between 8 and 9 meters long, about 1.6, 1.7 meters wide. And at the forward and aft end, there's like 2 sort of small cabin areas. And one of the areas will be where your radio and your sort of GPS is in the batteries, and it'll have an area for where you'll get your head down. And then the other cabin, it'll have, it's very similar, it'll be smaller, and it'll just be where you get your head down. And essentially, in between the 2 cabin areas, you're just open with elements. And as Stuart says, when you're on these boats, you have to be harnessed and attached to the boat at all times. And the 2 cabin sort of entrances have to remain closed at all times. Obviously, except when you're coming in and out, you
Aye.
close the door behind you, because these boats are self-righting.
Mhm.
So if the cabin hatches are closed and we get a big wave, we'll just completely turn right over and self-right.
Mhm.
Might have a wee bit of a sore head again when we get dunted off the bottom of the boat,
Be slightly
because
down,
we'll,
back up, right?
because we'll be attached. We'll be tethered onto the boat with the yard harness. So
Yeah.
and it's the boat we've got is an R45, which is designed for 3 to 5 people.
Mhm.
So as we've said earlier, we've got enough to have 3 people rowing at all times. So there's 3 rowing positions. So that's it. These boats, you can be made of fiberglass or carbon. So yeah, they're much and such all the same. The boats have to fit a certain specification for the race rules. And Ranach are one of the leading ones in ocean rowing. They've got a number 1 safety record.
Mhm.
And the actual boat we've got is a nice wee story about it, because originally we'd set out to get a brand new one.
Mhm.
But as times went on, we've decided to actually charter one now. That helps us with costing, but also it helps us get as much money as we can for our charities.
Yeah.
So the funny thing about our boat is it's called this year, but it was taken by a team called the Four Oarsmen.
Mhm.
They set the world record crossing Atlantic, I think it was 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So 4 oarsmen takes this year, sets a world record. I think it was 31 days, or something like that.
It's still the world record.
And it's still got the world
All the
record.
classes of all the races, it's still the fastest time that's been
Right.
done.
Jesus.
Now, the funny thing is, we didn't know none of this.
Mm.
Now, our team, Remiges V, that translates to the 5 oarsmen. Now, from this boat came along, and we were like, yeah, we'll have a look at that, all the rest of it. And the lassie, Lizzie at Ranach, said, you know, this boat set the record by a team called the Four Oarsmen. And we were like, is that like, over there is a no pressure? So it's just like, I don't know if you look at it as like a good omen, sort of thing. But things like that, over the last few months, we've had a couple of good things that have sort of made us think, this is the right thing to do, and getting this boat. So no, we're really happy. Stuart's been and seen her. So she's made it across. So the team who've had her this year's taken it across. She's got back safely. So I think at present it'll be getting all packed up, shipped. It goes back to Ranach in Essex, and it will be fully serviced, and we'll have our logos on it for when we come to get her in April.
It must have been a big feeling again to actually see the boat and just being like,
It was incredible, yeah. For the second you actually get off the ferry, so you fly to Tenerife and it's around an hour's ferry to get to La Gomera. It's a much smaller island. But at this time of year, obviously, effectively the World Surface Road just takes over the island. So from the second you step off the ferry, you can see the big signs, you can see the race HQ set up. As you step onto the main sort of drag and start walking down towards the marina, there's big boards set up showing you all the team names, explaining when the race is going to start, and then all the boats just come into view and you can just see them there. So yeah, it was pretty incredible going in and seeing them all there. You can see everyone getting ready in their own little world, doing the things that they need to do. But yeah, it was a bit shocking. It was like, it really kind of hit home as to like, oh, this is actually a year from now, this is going to be us sitting there, getting ourselves ready. But yeah, it was incredible. Just like proper, you can almost feel your heart racing, like, oh, this is going to be us soon. It was really, really
it's like people who see the cyclists at Tour de France, or see the drivers at Formula One, but you're seeing that on a bigger scale, and it's something that you're going to be a part of, and you're going to be involved when. You've spoke briefly about obviously having to source funding. Sponsorship for this is a big, big deal. And this is my personal opportunity to say, businesses of Aberdeen and beyond, put your hand in your pocket and back the cause, because it's worth it. Because how difficult has it been for you to cover that side of things and find the sponsorship aspect?
It's been very hard. I'm not going to lie. We know when I looked at it up, when I looked at doing the race, and when I sort of studied up on it and how people managed to fund it, 90% I would say get the cost covered by funding or sponsorship or things like that. So I thought, yeah, okay, we should be able to do this.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, we've had to put our own money in as well to get us across get the start line, get registered, get some of our kit. We've all paid for all this ourselves. But the funding has been hard. I've never done anything like this before.
Yeah.
So obviously we signed up 2 years ago. And then that's when we started putting our funding across a sales pitch across
Yeah.
the various different companies. And all we sort of did was look at the various teams from the past who had websites and how they did it, and looked at how they did their costing as well. And we sort of mirrored it from there.
Yeah.
And we got, at the very start, we got a quick like sort of whoosh of, yeah, we'd like to come on board. And then it just went to, we had nothing for long enough. Which was quite disheartening at times because the amount of emails and things you speak to, and some people don't reply, and some people say no right away, which is fair enough because in the day, the amount of charities that are out there and companies, you really don't know how much companies do give out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they must get so much requests. But I'm the kind of guy, the more no's I got, the more thrawn I am. And the more sort of it's in me to say, okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
I will do this, and I'll work harder at it, and I'll try and improve my way how I speak to people. But the fundraising's been very hard. But saying that, we've been very, very lucky, and the companies that have came on board have been very generous, and the majority of it has come from the Shire and the city.
Yeah.
So we're very, very grateful to the companies that have come on board because they buy into our vision, they buy into the charities that we're doing it for, and they want to be part of it.
Yeah.
But also, it's not about us just going to companies and asking for their money. We want them to be part of this team.
Yeah.
We want them to feel part. Every stroke that we take, we want them to feel they're part of it as well, because it has to work both ways.
It's got to be a partnership.
It has to be a partnership, and that's one of the things that myself and Stuart strive to tell people, because it's been me and Stuart who's done the way it's worked out. The other guys are doing their bits as well, doing various fundraising and that. But the way it's worked out, it's been me and Stuart who's done the majority of the speaking to companies, and we strive to say to them, look, we want you to get a benefit out of this as well.
Yeah.
Because it has to be. There is no other way about it. It has to work both ways.
Yeah, we're a big believer in collaboration over competition.
Yes.
I think a lot of the problems you get with businesses is you'll find that they don't want to put their name onto something if a potential competitor has already put their name on it. And they're just like, well, I'm not competing with them for space. But there's such a wide variety of opportunities to sponsor yous. It's not like there's just one particular thing where like, here's a flat thing we expect or would like this amount from this person for this level of promotion and sponsorship back. There's a wide range of things that people can actually sponsor within the team as a whole, isn't there?
Yes, so obviously the main thing that people are sort of the sponsor centered around is the marketing on the boat itself. That's usually going to be the highest visibility.
Yeah.
Certainly within the race and the training on social media and posting and things like that. That's what people are going to see. But alongside that, we've got other sponsorship packages for certain things. So, for example, we managed to sell out all our packages for our oars. So our oars got sponsored. So rather than maybe on the logo on the boat itself, the teams are going to have their logo on the oar.
Yeah.
And then when we come back, they're actually going to have the oar given to them, and they'll be able to present that in their office up the wall and say, we supported that team that had done that. Alongside that, we've got packages where people can actually support the rower themselves. And so again, we'll have company names on a logo. We'll be listed in our social media. We'll be mentioning them when we do our videos and we come on things like this and various media appearances. And one thing is, Sinead said obviously about collaboration, and obviously we work in the oil and gas field, so there's a lot of competition.
Yeah.
But one thing we noticed when we done our sponsors day is it's almost been a good opportunity for a lot of, especially the smaller companies that may be taking smaller packages, for them to network directly.
Yeah.
So one of our most popular packages, which has really got us off the ground, is our supper club. So the way that works is a donation of £250 or more, because that's basically how much it costs to feed the 5 of us at sea for a day with specialist meals and stuff like that. So by sponsoring that, your logo goes on the website, you get your social media posts and things like that. And then when we're at sea and we're eating away, we'll be able to say, oh, this food was brought to you guys, such and such. So it's a nice little tie in there. But then when we done our sponsors day, all of those companies, we've had over 20 companies have sponsored on our supper club. They came into Aberdeen Beach, we done a whole sponsors day, we had some food. And then all of a sudden they're talking to each other. So rather than taking the approach of, oh, I'm not doing it if they're doing it, all of a sudden they're talking to each other and potentially getting business out of it. And for some of them, it's paid for itself already just from that alone, without actually us and the race and whatever, just by getting those people in the same room with a shared kind of cause. All of a sudden you realise how well they actually align as well as compete. and they can help each other that way. So it's been really good that way.
It's a good unifying look to it. It brings, a lot of people look at it as it's a bonding thing for you
Yes.
guys on the boat itself. But it's a bonding thing for a much bigger community than just you five on the boat.
Exactly.
You've got your friends, your families who will now, like you mentioned earlier, you've got 2 boys. They might never have met Stuart or anyone else doing anything else. Now you've got events like this where their, community of people they know is expanding. But then you start adding that into the businesses and it becomes a bigger opportunity for people to learn more about what's going on. You've said that obviously a lot of it comes from Aberdeen and the Shire, but you are willing and obviously more than happy to speak to people out with Aberdeen as well, yeah?
We've been very lucky. There was a guy I worked with on Shearwater. There was a job. He was a vendor. Jerome he's got his own company, Valve Type. They've taken one of our top packages because I spoke to him 2 years ago in a job that we had offshore, and he was like, "You're doing what?" So he's a Dutch guy. He's absolutely brilliant. So he messaged me about 5 months ago, and we'd lost touch, and he'd found me on LinkedIn, and he must have seen one of my posts on LinkedIn, and he says, "I can't believe you're still doing the row. What packages do you have available?" So me and Stuart were offshore. I can't remember. We did a dial-in with him and some of his directors, his finance people, and they just loved the story, loved what it's all about, 3 charities we're doing it for, and he took one of our top packages. So that's a company for the Netherlands. So we've got for Peterhead, we've got Netherlands, we've got everywhere. So the whole point of this, as I said before, is to essentially and more importantly raise awareness of our 3 charities, but also to give them good funds. But on a side note, again, as I was saying earlier, it's about putting that sort of mentality to people that you can achieve anything. You set out to do it. Anybody can. But also I think the way the area is feeling just now with the industry and things like that, I'd like to think that 5 guys in our, 4 of us are certainly in our industry. Do you know what I mean? If people can follow our journey and see, I know it's not great at the moment, but if we can dig in and achieve this lifetime, lifetime opportunity, all I need a charity. It should hopefully give people a wee bit of a pickup. Because things will get better. Like the industry and everything just now is, we all know it's not great.
Everything's all over the place.
Everything's all over the place. And hopefully if we can do this, we can give people something, a positive sort of thing. It will lighten moods because things will get better.
Yeah. And it's, again, I've mentioned it earlier, but coming back to it now, just seeing how positive you both get when you start talking about this as a project. It's something that people can look at problems in their life and they can look at these things as being too much for them, too much going on. It's overwhelming. It's a lot to take on. It requires a lot of work. But that work, yes, it can be hard, but it's rewarding at the same time. And you're both, you light up. You might not realize it yourself, but you both light up when you start talking about what you're actually going to achieve at the end of this. The process and stuff that you're going through, yes, is hard. But when you start focusing on that end goal, that end result of achieving what you want to achieve, I don't just realize it yourself just how much you actually light up and perk up. And it's infectious. And I'd imagine that passes on to the businesses that you're talking to, the people that you're talking to, and to each other when you're getting together and feeding off of this as well.
One thing I would say that does certainly, I didn't realise we lit up so.
No, you do.
In terms of, we've been and spoke to many people and we've got sponsors and we've had people that say we can't provide money, but we can help you with this and the next thing. I don't think we've had a negative interaction once.
No.
So like, even if people can't help you out in the way that you ask them to, you never come away and someone's like really negative. Why would we help you? They're like, we'll do everything we can to help you, but if we can't do this, we can maybe do that for you. So you talk to people and it's like when you actually get across and like you say that passion comes through and you explain to them why you're doing it and what you're looking to get out of it, people do feed off that. So they start to mirror that back to you and you can see them getting excited and you can see the will to help you is there. And yes, not everyone can. You can see that people believe in it. And they certainly try their best to help us. And that's what we've had with virtually everyone that we speak to, I would say.
And like you say, it's not going to be necessarily, you go to a business, you come to us, we're brand new, we can't do anything financially, but we have an opportunity. Here's something that we can do for you. It's not always about, and even if we couldn't do this, we could have been like, well, hang on a minute, we know a business who might be able to help you. Even when we were chatting earlier, it was like, I might know someone who's worthwhile. As it turns out, it's someone you knew beforehand anyway.
But that doesn't surprise me.
I mean, I'm not going to say anything, but there is perhaps an old school friend of some sort who works upstairs that also knows her. That's weird. Ted, are you just one of those sort of Shire lads that knows everyone everywhere?
Well, I'm actually not my brother now. He knows everybody, right? And same with my dad, being the local funeral director in Peterhead. He knows everybody. So
With every family.
yeah, but no, I know quite a few people. I've been very lucky, but
Aye.
it's and if you don't, the people I know, if I don't know someone, they'll know someone.
Aye.
If you know what I mean. And it's just it's a local community. That's
But
what
that's
it
what
is.
helps build it. as
Local
well.
community.
Yeah.
And you said it earlier. Everybody says Aberdeen's a massive city. It's near Town. It's a village. Abdi kens Abdi, and if the dinner, you'll soon get the
Oh, there's tenuous links everywhere.
everywhere. And like I say, we've been very, very lucky with the sponsorship,
Mhm.
and long may it continue as we try to get the last couple of packages over the line.
Where can people find out more about it or get more
So,
information about the pack?
The packages are on our website.
Mhm.
Obviously, that'll be listed at the bottom.
Yep.
On your cast
Probably be on
podcast.
screen somewhere right
On
now.
the
as well.
screen, yeah. There's that. There's also they can connect with us on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
That's where I'm pretty active on there. And the younger members of the team, they put things on Instagram and Facebook. I can't work at. I don't care how you do it. I just got myself a new phone and I'm already ready to throw it out the window because I can't work it.
It's the first thing you say when they come in is like, I can't get my emails. I've got this. I'm done. I'm finished.
So like I say, the website itself, and I'm quite active on LinkedIn. So and the team's got its own page on LinkedIn as well. So
Yeah.
please get in touch. Any help is much appreciated. And as we've said earlier as well, it's a team thing.
Yeah.
We'll make it work for you just as much as you
Aye.
make it work for us.
Exactly. People will get back what they give in us.
Exactly.
Yeah, even in general as well, just that sort of, we talked about there when we were talking about, or you did, about the network of people that become involved, just that sort of outreach.
Yeah.
Like, even if people just follow along and they think it's interesting and they go, oh, I know that guy, or they're friend of a friend of a friend, and they follow along, you know, they go on and they react to the stuff on LinkedIn, and it sort of generates a bit more buzz for us. That's how helpful then when we do go and approach people that are more suitable for things like sponsorship.
Yeah.
They can then see that other people are interacting with it. It's going to get more eyes for them, and it just makes it a bit of an easier conversation. So
Yeah.
just following along, and you might do it just to laugh at us when something funny happens on the boat. I dare say there's going to be many hilarious things to come when we get the boat and we start training.
Yeah.
Even if it's just to do that because you think we're stupid, then again, it's actually all helpful for us as well.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What ways, so are people going to be able to, obviously they can follow along just now through all your social medias, your LinkedIn, everything else that you're posting in the run up to it. During the event itself, obviously you mentioned there's cameras and stuff on there for World's Toughest Show organising it, and for the doctors and stuff to be able to look in and keep an eye on. Is there a way that you guys will be, or that people can keep track with the actual event itself while it's going on?
Yeah, so there's an actual app that you can sign up to. I think it's the YTB Race app, and that means you'll track all the boats going across Atlantic. But also we are going to, as part of like the race rules, we're going to have to provide like an internet sort of connection ourselves. So we've got our own sort of comms. We're going to have sat phones and all the rest of it. But we'll be, I know, but we'll be posting videos on all our social media as well during the race. So we'll be posting videos during our training, but even more so during the race. So it'll be pretty fun because there was a couple of good ones this year. Our boat had a nice wee video that they posted. Stuart knows more about it.
Yeah, well, this year was the first year I think that they moved to a Starlink system.
Yeah.
Which was much easier to upload things, much more reliable.
Aye.
So some of the teams were posting a lot of content this year, especially a couple of the younger teams. They were posting stuff virtually every day, which is interesting in itself, because like you were saying earlier about like the mental aspect of it, you can see them and they look really down and drab and whatever, and then anything small's happened, and before you see them on the next video, they're like, Kipper, like nothing's happened, like
Life again.
yeah, everything's amazing. What we're saying there about some of the videos that we've seen, our actual boat that we're collecting in April, the girls that are on that boat put up a video, and they'd actually were being tracked by a pod of 3 orcas, and the killer whale literally touched the bottom of the boat, and when they were feeding back to obviously support the World Toughest Show, and they were just told, we can't confirm that they look friendly, so don't get off and clean the boat for the next couple of days.
Maybe just stay on there.
So yeah, that was a bit of a shell shock when you seen that. But yeah, the ability is there to get content back.
Would that count as a cheat if the orca starts nudging the boat along a wee bit? Is that?
If there's none of the rules, then we'll take it.
I was going to say, I'd be encouraging them. You're hanging food off the edge, you go just a wee bit of a push further along, please, if you don't.
I'm the biggest one, so I'll just hang myself and died. It'd be a great cartee if we get them to push us forward.
Little Peterhead blood just. One.
Aye.
Oh god, that in and of itself is going to be a phenomenal way for people to keep up. And again, it's an appeal for the sponsorship side of things. Of this is because obviously their sponsor stuff is going to be visible in these videos. You're going to see stuff as it's going. You mentioned about when you're eating as well. You'll be able to, like, this meal was brought to you by.
Yeah.
So I could see it now as like a really bad TV presentation.
I think as well, which is good for a load of companies, is what we're doing is it's all sustainable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But we're going to be making our own water, so we can't take plastic with us.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, we've got an emergency supply of water, which will be there in case our water maker breaks down.
Mm-hmm.
But then if that breaks down, we've got a hand pump.
Mm-hmm.
So we can still do it that way. While we're doing it as well, one of the main things is if we see any plastics floating in the ocean, we'll be expected to collect it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, what else is there? If we see any marine life tangled up in nets, we'll be there to free them as well. So that's all good things. But the thing as well is, before we even go and leave La Gomera, our boat is weighed with everything on board, all our food, etc. Now they know the weight of that boat.
And us,
Unfortunately, aye. But what's important as well is they know the weight of that boat.
Mm-hmm.
They will estimate how much food we will eat, and they will know the weight of that boat with the empty packets on board.
Mm-hmm.
So if we were to come in underweight, i.e. if we'd thrown any packets over the side, we will get a time penalty. So that's all interesting parts as well, innit?
Yeah,
Stu?
that's a big part for sustainability.
Yeah, and well, it's solar powered.
Yeah.
So it's solar power and us.
Yeah.
That is it. There is no, unfortunately, there's no little wee petrol engine at the back that I can use or anything like that. But no, it's all sustainable as well, because you could, had we went down the route of buying a new boat, what people do is they sell the boats on so other people can use them over a few years. Or if you're doing what we do, is renting one, or if we bought a second-hand one, we're using a used boat instead of building a new one. So that's a massive part of sustainability as well. So it's all good to know and sort of sell to prospective companies as well.
Yeah, the boat thing as well feeds into what you were saying earlier about the sort of network of people that it affects. It's like we're doing this and it's consuming our lives for the best part of a couple of years, and then we'll hand the boat back, or we've got the option to buy it and sell it on, but either way we'll be getting rid of the boat. And then another team's going to come in and they're going to do the exact same thing again. It'll be there, they'll be 2 years out and they'll be having the same difficult conversations as we are, and they'll be starting their training and they'll have their own charities and their own causes and their reasons that they're doing it for. And it just filters out, and like more people are doing it all the time. The other thing we touched on there was the app you said about tracking the race. Again, because I went over and seen a lot of teams before they started this year's race, I was watching it really intently, and it really puts it into perspective. In the previous years since we've signed up, I've kept an eye on it, obviously, doing it, but didn't really know too many of the teams and stuff like that. This year I was watching it sort of every day, and within a couple of weeks I was like, oh, they've been out there bloody ages. I wonder how they feel when they're actually out there. That was another thing that really put into perspective for me. I was like keeping an eye on it, and seeing just how long it takes them to get there was really...
Seeing what sort of distance they cover over nighttime, daytime,
Exactly.
It probably helps you yourself going, right, okay, well, they've done this in this amount of time. Is this what we're going to have to work for?
I think that's another thing that we touched on about the mental side of it, is it's in all aspects, but I'll notice it myself even when I'm rolling on the row machine. It's very easy to just lose your concentration a little bit, feel like you're doing the same, and then when you actually look at the stats, you've been going 10 or 20% slower or 10% faster and potentially getting more tired.
Yeah.
So like being able to maintain that and keep on the same pace and the same sort of steady schedule, really important. You only need to lose a little bit of focus.
Yeah.
And before you know it, that could, over the course of a day with 5 guys rowing over 24 hours, that could be 5, 10, 20 miles a day over a month.
It's a massive drop off of it.
Yeah, you're talking about
such a small
week's worth of difference, just losing your focus for a little bit each day. So yeah, it's really important to just kind of stay on top of it.
Stay in,
it's helpful.
Stay dialed in and keep an eye on it. Well, it's a phenomenal thing that you are doing. It's very, very close on the horizon now for having signed up, like saying 2024. It's edging ever closer. What's the one message you would want to pass on to the viewers, the listeners, before we wrap up for today? What's the one thing you would want to say, this is why you should get involved?
And go, I'll let you do it.
For myself, I just think it's important that when you get the opportunity to do something incredible, now that's my incredible is different from your incredible, it's different from someone else's incredible. Why not? Like, the first thing everyone says to me is, why do you want to do that? And the first thing I say before I blame him for is, why not? Like, why wouldn't I want to do it? Like, I'm going to be part of a very small amount of people that have ever done something like this, and I'll have that for the rest of my life. In terms of why people should get involved, we do, as we've already said, we strive to make it mutually beneficial. So we really are giving back to everyone that gives us anything. With our whole heart and energy, we try and give that back. And we just think it's good, like Will's already said, for the area, for the community, for the charities, for ourselves, for our families, for our friends. Everyone, you can just see it filtering out. Every conversation that we have, we see what we give out mirrored back to us, and it's just spreading a positive message that you can go and do literally anything at any point in your life. And yeah, why not follow it? Like, why not get involved? Like I say, from a business point of view, we like to think that we're giving back to them in terms of they'll get a financial benefit as well as providing us money and sort of eyes on them, as it were. And just on a personal benefit, if you've got the opportunity to help people, then you should take it. And I think that's a really key thing that a lot of people are maybe lacking nowadays. It's very much, I don't want to say crabs in a bucket, because we've already proven that we've met lots of helpful people.
Yeah.
If you can help someone, and especially if it doesn't take much of your time, give us a like, give us a follow, repost our stuff, wish us well, send us a nice message, pop a $5 in a donation jar. If you can do that, then you should. And then we would do that for other people. And if more people start doing things like that on a more regular basis, we'll all be better off for it.
Yeah, true. Well, what about yourself?
I can't really say much more than what Stu said. That's it. Totally agree with what he said there. But as I say, it's trying to do good. Yeah, essentially. Yes, let's not beat around the bush here. The five of us want to do this for ourselves as well. And we want to do well in it. When I played football, when I played rugby, I played to win. Now, I want to win this. I'm not going to lie. I'm not saying I am going to win, but that's the way I'm going to set. That's what I'm set out to do. I don't want to just take part in it. I want to win it. Now, there's got to be teams who are really fitter. There might be ex-professional rowers there. There might be whatever. But that's still, if I go in, or if we go in as a team with a mindset of winning it, then what happens.
Right.
You know what I mean? But why, for people to get involved, be part of something extraordinary. Because this is exactly what this is. It's extraordinary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I said at the very start, I mean, it's not often you get boys for Peterhead that do the incredible things, but Lewis has already done it, and I'm hoping to do it as well.
Yeah.
And it's getting a community on the map and supporting 3 absolutely fantastic charities. Yes, you're supporting us, and then the money will make its way back to the charities, but it's raising the awareness for the charities, and equally as important is raising the funding. And if we can help your company and by getting you out there and noticing your name on the side of a boat, or when we do our events, like we'll do another sponsors day, getting people together, having a bit of fun, doing a bit of our training, then a barbecue end, and you can maybe get some networking out of it. It's absolutely a no-brainer for you. And it really is about, people can say a lot about Aberdonians and people for the Shire, but we are a close-knit community. And it's very surprising. You wouldn't believe how generous people are up here. And that's what I like to see.
Everyone goes on about how stingy Aberdonians are. It's like, they can be, but it's not a case of being stingy all the time.
No.
When the right cause is there and when the people need it, Aberdeen steps up and it will help out. So it's...
I firmly believe that, and it's already proved already with the support we've had. Which has been incredible. But as I said, I think it's the area just now is feeling the pinch with the way things are. If we can hopefully put a positive message, and especially for our younger generation, for us, too much of this, put your mind to something, you will achieve it. You've just got to want it.
There you go, folks. That's as easy and positive a message you could get to finish up. If you want something, go get it. With the right willpower, you can achieve whatever you want to. Gents, thank you very much for coming in and chatting to us. It's been an absolute pleasure to find out more about what's going on, but also find out a bit more about yourselves as well. If folks want to keep up to date with everything that is happening with this journey that the gents are on, you can do so by following all of the links in the descriptions down below. We're going to have you back in after this row's done, and we'll chat more about the experience as a whole.
Definitely.
And what daft thing you've signed yourself up for next. Don't care about following us for this episode. We normally do a like, subscribe, follow. Nah, none of that for us for this time. It's all about the gents who are sitting on the sofa next to me. Give them a follow, give them a like, get involved. Even if you don't financially have the ability to do so, there are so many ways that you can, by liking posts, sharing, commenting, reposting, or just getting in contact and letting you know that they're supporting you and behind you. It's a great thing to do. Thank you very much for watching and listening. We will see you in next week's episode. Take care. Bye for now.